Shams told us before the finals ended, this is going to be one of the most wild off seasons we've seen. And as Toddy said, he came on last week and said, I'm thinking 10 hours after the finals, KD's getting traded. And KD said, Game 7, the Thunder, y'all talking about Shai's the best Thunder of all time? Well, how about this? The Suns trade Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 pick. And five second round picks, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, I'm going to swing it to you first. What were your thoughts on Kevin Durant being traded to the Rockets? And before you answer, we talked about the Oklahoma City Big Three. They have all three now have been traded to the Houston Rockets at one point in time.
It's probably a trend that's going to keep trending because one of these years, in like 10 years, one of that core, the young core now will probably be in Houston. I love the trade for Houston. They needed offense, and you get the best hooper in the game, the best scorer in the game. So I can't complain on that in that department. However, um, I'm really interested to see if this kind of sparks Jalen Green's redemption.
Arc.
Yeah, like I'm really excited to kind of see, okay, he didn't play so well in the playoffs. Maybe this is something he needs, and some young stars need like a kind of like a kickstart. Like they finally get to the league and they kind of are like lackadaisical, but sometimes you just need a and like a new spot, new teammates, new coach, new system, new organization, and maybe that can kind of get their mind space right, and maybe they could ball better. I'm interested to see that. I don't think he'll probably stay at the Suns though, because I think Jalen Green and Bradley Beal are the same player, just one's younger. Um, so I'm interested to see what the Suns do. Because I don't know if they're keeping Jalen Green or if they're going to ship off Devin Booker, which is what they should do. Um, but this is great for Houston. I think in a very stacked West, you do need a star. You do need someone who could get you a bucket, and that's exactly what Kevin Durant does. Um, and I'm the West, man. It's hard for me to say OKC can go back to the finals because the West is about to get crazy. So that's all I have to say.
Toddy, what were your thoughts on Kevin Durant being traded to the Houston Rockets? I know we saw Fred VanVleet go for 4. We saw Mikal Bridges go for 5. So not only what are your thoughts on the trade as a whole, but what went into the trade? You know, your guy. You are the Jalen Green guy on this podcast. So how do you feel about him being shipped off after one playoff
Um, he had one good game in the playoffs. It's kind of inexcusable for his performance. Besides that one game, I recall our high school basketball coach going at my DMs after JG had 40. I was like, "He next one, coach," and he was like, "Chill out. Steph's coming next game." He was like, "Chill out. Steph's coming next game. Don't worry about it." He was like, "I'll bet on Steph every day and twice on Sundays before Jalen Green has another 40-point game." And I was like, they the YNs, coach. They next. They time is now. Little did I know, Jalen Green was go on to score 8 points like twice the next couple of games. I think his time in Houston, I get it. He's had a little bit of time. He's had a full rookie contract. Um, Kevin will like to be the guy that says, "Oh, look at all the other guys in this draft. Look at Cade. Look at Jabari.
Gotti,
Look at
Jabari,
Franz.
Franz.
Sugg. Look at all these guys. Look how much money they got. How come he ain't get that? He got a little bit more. Everybody else is up here. He was a little bit right down here, and might have been right. Can
you say that again for the audio listeners? That Kevin was right? I don't feel like you said that.
You could argue the Amin Thompson Jalen Green dynamic was going to run its course, and who were you going to pick out of the two? I think we all would say Amin Thompson. So they found a trade partner, and unfortunately, I feel like they wanted a third team in this deal, because reports coming out that the Suns are going to try and reroute Jalen Green just because of the redundancy of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, who makes way too much money. I think we all can agree, and Jalen Green. Um, I don't think Devin Booker's going anywhere unless he's on the market and no one else knows about it. Bradley Beal is literally impossible to move unless he says it's okay. He got his feet up, doing whatever he wants to do. He's counting his however much. He like either y'all could cut me and I get all of the money, or you trade me where I want to go, and they have to take on my contract. So Jalen Green is kind of just in a weird limbo situation of, okay, I can play here, but it's not really going to work out in my favor because they don't really have a point guard. I don't know where exactly he will be going next. I'm just thinking he needs to go to like a bad team probably and just hoop like a
Like he does his whole
Charlotte,
career.
like a Charlotte or a Wizards.
Miles and 10 wins.
Yeah, like a Wizards or like a Utah, like somewhere just where they just don't care about basketball. He could just go who put up numbers, then somebody be like, hey, kind of like what the Wizards did today with Jordan Poole. Like Jordan Poole, I don't know necessarily say he went to the Wizards and hooped, but I mean, he averaged like 24, like 20 something. So I mean, he's going to the Pelicans, and we'll probably get into that trade later. But the Pelicans, the swap, the Poole for McCollum swap is kind of the same in my opinion. But I do think he has to go somewhere and kind of just figure it all out. But I mean, technically was on a bad team. They just got good. So I don't know. I want him to just to go hoop and just, I mean, it was kind of set up for him. I mean, he had Ime Udoka, just took the Celtics to the finals. They got a really good team, a lot of good pieces around. They just drafted Reed Shepard, who was number 3, but he didn't even play. So I don't know, man. It's kind of up in the air because when you put on a performance like that in the playoffs, it's going to be tough for the league as a whole to kind of wrap their arms around and say, hey, we want you to be our number 1 guy, our number 1 scorer, or that even the number 2 guy. So the real question is, can Jalen Green be a number 2 guy on a championship team? And I don't know the answer to that question because he's so young. So it was a lot. I think it's 23, probably turning 24 next year. So the jury's still out on Jalen Green. But right now, he just kind of has to just lock in. Summer's here, just work on your game. I think he's probably got to work on his 3 ball a little bit just to get a little bit better at that. But, I mean, all of the tools are there. Like, he had a 40-point game. There was a stat that said he was like the youngest Rocket ever to score 40 points in a playoff game. So, I mean, the potential's there. He just has to be way more consistent than he's been. He's been very erratic as a basketball player his entire NBA career. So if he can just be a little bit more consistent, I think he'll find a happy home.
You got it, Alex.
I just want to say something that Toddy kind of touched on. He does need to get his lit back. He needs to kind of maybe go to a team that's kind of washed to just build his confidence back up, right? And it's really interesting looking at these young players and seeing how they kind of deal with criticism, right? Like you have players kind of like Ben Simmons, right? Like don't really know the whole situation, what happened with him, right? And I'm not gonna say whether he was feeling some type of way or he wasn't, but I'm just saying like that caused him now to be a minimum player now. Like he's only making like $1 million a year, and he's gonna probably be just washed up from team to team. So I'm really interested to kind of see if this is gonna build or break him type of vibe, and if he's gonna get that respect from not just like his colleagues, but from the league in general, right? And that's something that I know we're past it, but like I think Wendy was saying today on First Take or something like that was like Tyrese got a lot of respect from not just like basketball players, but just like athletes in general for going out and still trying to do something in Game 7. And I feel like that respect is obviously something that's very valuable. But you have to show it. And I feel like you saw glimpses, especially in that one random, I think his only double digit game that series. And then he had 9, 8, 7 points the rest of the other 6 games. So I wish him nothing but the best. I want him to kind of flourish, and I think he's gonna be a great player. He just needs a good spot, and he needs a really good coaching staff. And I felt like Ime was good for him, but yeah.
So before we move on, we gotta get to some of these comments. Smub, Alex and I's father, said Jalen Green is the new playoff P.
He didn't name himself playoff P, so it's okay.
So I'm gonna say something, and I need you guys to just listen before you make a face. Okay, Ty, I want you to unmute yourself because you're gonna say something. Okay, I get it. Jalen Green, one bad game. Help lead this team to a number 2 seed.
I said one.
And they trade him after a performance of him averaging 14 points throughout the playoffs. There's a guy who is arguably the GOAT in some people's minds. Kobe Bryant, averaged 8 points and 9 points his first 2 playoff games. Jalen Williams, the second best player on the NBA championship team, averaged 15 points last year. Could you imagine them trading Jalen Williams? I'm not saying Jalen Green's going to bounce back and shock the world, but one bad performance doesn't mean you have to blow it all up.
It's not blowing it all up, though.
So you're telling me trading for 36-year-old Kevin Durant, they're probably going to give him a 2-year contract. He's won 2 playoff series in the past 6 years. I told Toddy, you're trading for the name Kevin Durant.
Yes.
You're telling me they couldn't have traded that number 10 pick? Excuse me. And got another contributor to this team? There's a lot of things they could have done, and I get it. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. Since he's left Golden State, he's done absolutely nothing. Well, Kevin, if he had a half a size foot smaller, who knows? What ifs, a lot of wishing and hoping. Kevin Durant, I get it. Phenomenal player. Ime coached him in Brooklyn. World Ivy is on the staff. They were college teammates. They were teammates in OKC. And I get it. You can talk me into it. Kevin Durant shot 49% on jumpers in the NBA last season. The Rockets were 27th. Kevin Durant was the best ISO scorer in the league. The Rockets were top 5 in ISO shots attempted and 27th in ISO scoring. I get it. It all sounds good. But 2 playoff wins, 2 playoff series in 6 seasons, if Jalen Green turns out to be something and this doesn't work, who do we point the finger at? Because I get it. You got to keep the young core. You got to keep Alperen Sengun. You got to keep Amin Thompson. You got to keep Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Eason. I get it. But just think in the back of your head, Jeff Teague said it best. What the fuck would the Lakers have done if they would have traded Kobe after averaging less than 10 points in his first 2 years in the playoffs? This could come back and bite them. Jalen Green, like Alex said, is going to go on his villain arc. We're going to see what he's doing. Tyler, are you stretching or are you raising your hand?
I'm raising my hand.
Oh, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Say it.
So last year, Kevin Durant averaged 26 points.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back to that. Let's go take the tab. What did they finish? What was their record? Did they make the play-in?
Whoa. He didn't go tick-tack for you. Let him speak. Let the man speak.
I'll wait.
So Kevin Durant averaged 26 points last year. Shot 43% from 3, 52% from the field. And you said they were 25th in ISO scoring. They were the 2nd seed this past year, and that's with no Kevin. They were the 2nd seed without a go-to scorer, perhaps would you say. What'd you do? Kevin Durant, do you think he's like a number 1 option on the team? Would you say that?
Okay, I get it. He averaged a lot of numbers.
Is that a yes? Is that a yes?
It's just a yes or no question.
On
Answer.
this team,
yes or no question.
I think it's 1A, 1B.
Who's 1B?
Sengun. The All-Star? Yeah, no one said nothing. Just a bunch of putting hands on faces. No one's rebutted. Everyone's just shaking their head. Toddy,
I think it's you.
So hold on. Before you get to more numbers, let me give the audience what they're listening for. 36 wins and 46 losses. He put up all these numbers on a team that meant nothing and did nothing.
Look at the team. Look at the team. First of all, we're not going to discredit my GOAT, okay? He is the GOAT. And the fact that you walked in this podcast with the Kevin Durant jersey, and now you're talking like this about him, the disrespect will not be taken over here, okay? One, I understand he has not done anything substantial since 2019. He did tear his Achilles, and he did come back from an Achilles tear after the age of 30 when no one thought he would. Okay, he did win 2 gold medals after that. He did lead his very injured Nets to the playoffs. Okay, 2 7 games to the then eventually NBA champions. So we're not going to sit here and go tit for tat. Okay, he hasn't gotten a good system and a good team around him. He could ball, but one person cannot win you multiple games in this league.
So you're saying he hasn't had a good system since the Warriors?
Yes. Time out. Okay, yeah, he hasn't had a healthy one too, because the Nets were good. If Kyrie Irving, and James Harden did not get injured, if one of them were just not injured, they would have went to the finals that year.
You know what you had to start that last sentence with? If.
Everything's about if.
That actually happened. He's won 2 playoff series in 6 years. He got swept last year, 2 years ago, and then this year didn't even make it. His team had a top 10 pick. You want to mention all these stats? Alex, you're not a football player. You're not a football person. Don't no one give a fuck that Dak's top 3 at MVP when they don't make it to the playoffs. I'm just saying.
But we're not going to
nice
do
to have
this
fun outside the party, but everyone wants to get in. He's just sitting in line waiting to get in. Everyone's having fun inside
the party. First of all, we're not going to disrespect one of the GOATs in this league. I understand in this last generation of basketball players, everyone points at everyone points at Steph and LeBron, and rightfully so. But let's not get it twisted. KD evolved the game. Everyone wants a KD on their team. I would do anything to get a KD on my team too. And the fact that he's still balling like this at what, 36? 30, 35, 36, 37?
36
torn Achilles, bro. He is 7 foot. Shooting 50% from the 3-point line. He's probably 90% on the free throw line too. So
40%, 50 from the field.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is like, I understand where the Houston Rockets were coming from with we need offense. Here you go. If they couldn't get Giannis, there is KD on the table. So I don't understand why this is a bad trade. I understand Jalen Green.
I understand why they did it. Okay, I'm cooking. Go ahead.
I understand Jalen Green, and he might be, but we did not think Kobe Bryant was going to be Kobe Bryant. Let's be honest. We did not think Kobe Bryant in his first 2 playoff games were going to be the Kobe Bryant. And we never know. And people take that chance. OKC took that chance on Jalen Williams. They didn't take it on Giddey, though. They traded him quick. And now look at where they're at. So you just have to kind of see what the organization thinks of you. I mean, the Mavericks traded Luka. So we're not going to compare Jalen Green to the GOAT, Kobe Bean Bryant. I'm sorry. We're not.
So you mentioned Kevin Durant changed the game. Is this the same Kevin Durant that joined the best team to ever touch basketball to win a championship? Yes. That Kevin Durant?
Yes.
The Kevin Durant that couldn't beat LeBron, so he joined the best basketball team ever to touch basketball? That Kevin Durant?
Yes.
The Kevin Durant who tore his Achilles and said, I don't get enough credit. I want my own team. So he got his own team, and he's been in Cancun a lot. Frequent flyer.
He does things unorthodoxly. Yes. He does things differently than what we all think he should. But that's just the player he is. And I'm not knocking him for wanting to go team to team because he still is the GOAT regardless of that. He'll still get his buckets. He'll still do what he needs to do. He's
This
still
one week,
consistent. You know what I mean? But I think it can't just be based on one player. We've seen teams get carried by one person and look where they end up.
I
So
don't Kevin Durant's SGA. I don't think Kevin Durant's LeBron. I don't think KD's Steph. All those
I'm not
young
saying
guys you're
KD.
talking
I'm
about,
not saying KD is any of those players. KD is his
but you
own
said we've
player.
seen one guy carry a team. I don't think KD's doing that at 36.
No, I understand that. But when does Steph carry his own team?
2020 when they beat the Celtics, or 2022.
Facts. Apologies. 22. That was the only time he did, though.
Hey, it happened.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You ask, and you shall receive.
You know,
Kevin,
I don't
do you
respect
think?
that.
I think we're getting a little bit off track here because you got Kevin fired up about a whole different topic that he
I'm sorry.
has been years
Yeah,
invested
we're gonna reel that back. Reel that back.
He's taking it all out.
Reel that back. All right, Kevin.
What do you think the Rockets will look like going into next year? Do you think Kevin Durant can still average 25 plus on a team like this?
Of course, he's going to average 25 points because Tyler's going to say he's only averaged 21 times and it was his rookie year. All cool and dandy. You take away those 2 years out of him from the Thunder or from the Warriors, what is he? A dude who gets a lot of buckets? No one was praising Carmelo Anthony when he was doing this because he doesn't win.
Because he wasn't 7 foot, Kevin.
So because he's 4 inches
With
shorter.
a handle like a guard, Kevin.
Alex, oh, it sounds good. It sounds amazing. Perfect demigod in 2K. 2 playoff wins, series wins in the past 6 years.
Can the Rockets
Y'all
make
making
the
it seem like they
Western
traded for
Conference
Prime KD. So now he's on another super team. So now what's the
Super
team?
This is a super team, Kevin?
Super team? This is not a super team.
Was the Suns not a super team?
Suns were a super team, technically.
What makes them a super team?
By the constraints of contracts and players. And,
so it's a contract thing. So having max players make it a super team.
We thought it was a super team. Yes, technically.
Technically, everyone thought so. I didn't think so because Bradley Beal isn't that type of player. But when you have a no trade clause, you're considered one of those players.
You know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.